Hello and welcome to MCFC 9320 PUBcast, where we're at a bit of a lull in the football, really, aren't we? So we thought we'd still come on, we'd still bore the life out of you on a Sunday night. So we'll go straight to Paddy. Paddy, how are you?
Not too bad, boys. Not too bad. A lot better than I was yesterday.
Good, Anne-Marie? You good?
I'm good, thanks, Andy.
Good. Everybody in the chat, welcome, as always. Beef has put a message there. He's doing there you go, put up. Doing a charity raffle at Stepping Hill Hospital, 11 till 12 outside the canteen, raising funds for new hospital equipment. Feel free to donate. Please pin. I've just pinned that for you, mate. Kudos to you. Yeah. Alec, good evening. Well done to Martin and the Mancunian Way raising cash for Alzheimer's charity. Well done to all. Yeah, Martin will be joining us in a bit. He's running a little bit late. It's not like Martin, that, is it? But I want him to come on here and let us know how much he's raised, because I think money's coming during the course of the day for him as well as what went on after I left the stream about, I think it was about 5 to 6, and that's only because Blue Tone was on because he's a dickhead, but that's another story. So yeah, we'll open the floor to absolutely anything tonight. We'll be doing some transfers, news as well, not news, but rumours as well tonight. We'll get into that more when Martin finally logs on and stuff like that. But yeah, anything you want to talk about tonight for an hour, then the floor is yours. Paddy, you look a lot more fresher today than you did yesterday, mate.
That wouldn't be hard, in fairness. That's my monthly thing gone, or yearly thing. Jesus Christ, I don't know how people do that week after week. That's just, it's too much, man. It's that worth it.
I know, mate. I'm the same. How did they do it? It's a good job. Me and Anne-Marie are teetotaling, Anne-Marie.
Oh, Anne-Marie, actually, did you your latest? Do you follow him on Instagram?
What was that? Sorry?
Your Mr. Diaz, do you follow him on Instagram?
She follows him all around the country. She stalks him, mate.
Did you see his latest post today?
I haven't looked today.
Oh, it might be worth your while.
All right, okay. I will be looking.
He's actually doing a forum like this where fans can chat to him live with all different footballers.
Oh.
You get a little bit excited there, Anne-Marie.
Won't be able to contain myself.
But 5-10 minutes before he bars, you may as well get in there for the 5 or 10 minutes anyway.
Pardo says this is regarding Cancelo calling Pep a liar. We'll get into that. We'll get into all the proper football stuff once Martin comes, because otherwise we'll just be regurgitating what we're speaking about. So yeah, but yeah,
which we generally do anyway.
You do.
Well, people will be sick of seeing us this week.
So you speak for yourself?
Oh no, I've got my own little fan club that loves seeing me.
That's your sideline. You don't want to know about that. That's a different stream.
Good evening, BC. Good evening, Pardo.
Anne-Marie, I know you love me.
I love him. Absolutely love him.
And poor Diaz, she's moved on to Diaz now. So what? I know Ruben watches this show all the time. Ruben, I know you're going to be disappointed, but that was so last year before he got married. So we know you kicked into touch that blonde from was it Love Big Brother Celebrity House, whatever it's called.
Not pretend you don't know. You watch it every week.
I don't.
I asked you to.
He's well up on it all. Don't kid yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
Excuse me. I resemble that accusation. No, to be fair,
whatever his missus tells him he's watching.
Well, to be fair, I don't. So yeah, Charlie says, why does Cancelo keep doing these weird interviews? Because he's weird, mate. listen,
because he's
Charlie,
bitter.
he is.
Charlie,
And
ask yourself the question: who are we playing on Sunday next week? Every time we play a big game, these stories come out. So, and expect a lot more before next Sunday comes.
Come on, Alec, behave yourself.
Alec, you've got to stop doing things like that, Alec. No, and the thing is with Cancelo, it's only a quote from various news agencies. He turns around. Oh, hang on, here we go.
Good evening, Martin.
Evening.
Martin.
Is he froze?
Yeah, and then he blames everybody else.
I'm not froze. Excuse me, Martin. Who was froze on your show the other day? Going. In fact, I've got a picture of it. I'll show people if you want. How are you, mate?
He's such a
My apologies for being late.
He captures everything on that foot. Nearly slags people about being on their phone on the ground. He's one of the worst.
Martin is. No, this was on his show. This was on his show. Anyway, Paddy, you won't know your season tickets with remote control, mate. There you go. There you go, mate.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's a bit mean, Andy.
I know. I'm only joking.
Don't got to look after my Paddy.
We were only talking
about Ruben.
Right?
She's moving on, Ruben.
43 years. I'm probably 39.
Martin, before we get into all football matters and stuff like that, mate, as I've said, to yourself last night till about 3:00 this morning, was it? As well as
to drunk Andy is hilarious.
We know.
So yeah, mate. The long and short of it, mate. Absolutely proud of you what you did yesterday, mate. You've raised a lot of money for a worthy charity. What's the updates on that, mate? How much have you raised so far?
Roughly, and it's a rough estimate at the moment, about 1,300.
Wow, mate.
So I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody who has helped, contributed. And the thing was, the money's nice. It was never about the money. The money's the bonus, and that's brilliant. That's why I set the target low, and everyone's exceeded it and massively. For me, it was about getting the message out, getting the awareness out more. And I think we did it, and that's
absolutely, mate. And it's testament to yourself as well as what the charity means to a lot of people, that you had people just basically knocking your door down to try and contribute, not to just sort of like being on it, but to actually show support and stuff like that.
I've had people reach out to me telling me about their own personal stories, some private, some public, and that's what it was about. It's a lot of diseases, illnesses are. Sadly, they are too underground, and we need to put them out in the public domain and make a bigger thing of these things, because things don't improve. And the one thing it did do, I told you this last night, you probably won't remember because you were cut as anything. No. But the simple fact is, it gave me a bit of hope in humanity again.
And it does, mate.
The last few years, I think we've lost a bit of human element in life. I found it again yesterday.
Like I said when we did our stint yesterday on the show, mate. And again, thanks for inviting us on that. It was like a taboo subject, isn't it? Where like a taboo subject where people are almost embarrassed to talk about it. When something, there's no need to be embarrassed about anything, because it's your loved ones at the end of the day. Whether it's whatever disease and stuff like that. It's about time people talk, especially, and I said it yesterday, Paddy's a big advocate of that, where he encourages people to talk. And if you've got one person who you manage to get to talk out, to whether it's to yourself, for the first time or anything yesterday, then that's just as important as the cash raised.
Yeah, no, 100%. And That's what it's about. Messages, and too many people, for whatever reason, each person has their own individual thoughts and issues on it, but too many people put things away and they hide it and they bury it. And yeah, that helps for so long, but it also doesn't help the person burying it.
No.
Because you build up till just one day you just blow up at people and have a go, and it's not good. Speaking is what people do, and I've read too many stories just this year alone where we've lost too many people because they don't feel they've nowhere to turn.
Absolutely, mate.
And that's, we've got to start. You know, I'm not saying let's go back to the 20s and the 1910s when everyone had an open door policy and everyone went in for a cup of tea with your neighbours, but I just mean more. There is no embarrassment in having issues in life. That's part of life. Nobody in this world walks around, you know, holding hands, singing Kumbaya, and everyone's all sweet and happiness.
That always makes me laugh when you say that, mate.
No, it's not. People want this little perfect life, little house on the prairie stuff, and there's a reason that's a TV program, and there's a reason. Well, was showing me age now. There's a reason why that was a TV program, and this is reality, because reality is hard work. Life is hard work. Life is what you get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got to squeeze the thing and get every last drop out of it, because you don't get a second chance.
I tell you what. One of my highlights yesterday was your missus coming on and saying it's actually you who wants to go on 80 minutes and not her. Soon to know, mate. What
No, don't worry about it. I did call her a lying little sod later on, but never mind.
I bet you did. That's all I'm saying. I bet she's not listening to you saying that here.
Oh, she was slapping you all over, mate. So let's get into it. This, although it's sort of like a quiet, you know, international thing. Somebody's just put there how bad's Walker's injury. To be honest, I didn't even see the match yesterday. I didn't see much what was put in front of me of them being brutal.
He walked off.
Well, he's
he walked off and smiled.
He was called Walker. So well, I'm sure we'd have heard about it in the press and stuff like that anyway. So yeah, there's a few things. We'll talk a bit transfer rumours, not in the know or anything like that, because none of us are in the know. There's things what's popped up today, as it were. Sané, Musiala, Kimmich, especially from Bayern Munich. There's a strong rumour that I'm going to go to you, Anne-Marie, with this one first. That Sané wants to come home.
I'm sure he probably does. Since he went, we've won a lot more trophies than he has.
Oh, that's unfair.
Yeah, but then look, we get linked with absolutely everybody, don't we?
And that's why this is just rumours.
Yeah, and you know, I've seen one today with the two lads from Wolves, Neto and was it Neves?
Yep.
Look, I don't listen to any of the rumours until I see them on the club website holding up a shirt. I'm not interested, because, like I say, and it's the media. I think Alec put a comment on before about that there is, you know, or there I can see it. Most people do care. It's the media that make our world bad, and that completely sums it up. You only need, you know, they're the ones that are planting the rumours because they're looking for clickbait. They're looking for people to click on links and whatever else. And you know, I know this isn't football, but you look at what they did with the Princess of Wales this last few weeks. She's been absolutely slated in the press, and they've been putting out all kinds of rumours about William and different things. And yeah, Kate came out, and what she said, I think, was for anybody that's been going through something like that, I think it was amazing for her to sit there and do that do that speech kind of thing, because it's shut everyone up, and there are people now backtracking, grovelling and looking to apologise because they've done nothing but shit stir, and that's what the press are good at. It's the same way as you can guarantee they're going to build all our players up before the Euros, and then when it doesn't work, because it won't work.
Not with waistcoat.
No, exactly. They will all get slated
A
one
future
way or
United
another.
boss.
You know, so the media are just looking to sell papers and things like that. What you did yesterday, Martin, was an incredible thing. And like you say, the awareness is always the most important thing. And I know I've diverted off the topic of transfers, but, you know, I think it needed saying.
No, totally.
And like I say, with regards to transfers, until I see him on the City website holding up the shirt, don't believe any of them.
Okay, Pardo's put Sané has shot himself in the foot. That's something probably Nunes would never be able to do because he'd probably miss. Well, that's another story. Listen, what I will say on Leroy Sané, and I know you was brutally honest, you know, we've won more trophies. I think Leroy Sané's become more of a all-round player at Bayern. And whereas at City was pretty much a one-directional player, which I loved because since Sané went, we've not got that winger, if you like, what does them diagonal runs for De Bruyne to feed on, you know, for anyone to run onto. Sané now for Bayern, you see him pretty much playing anywhere in that offensive role, don't you, Paddy?
Well, look, to be honest with you, I have much often the comment on how he's playing in Germany, but he definitely his time with us suited our style of play. Would he suit our style of play now? Probably not, because we're set up differently, play differently. It's more slow, more controlled than it was kind of fast, chaotic stuff. Look, I think we had your man Mike on this PUBcast a few months ago, and he was on about transfers and rumours and stuff like that. And he had a rule of thumb: if it's from 2 or 3 reliable sources, you can more or less say, yeah, there's something is in the pipeline or something's going to happen.
I don't go with that, mate.
I would, and I would agree with him. If there's 2 or 3 fairly reliable sources reporting it, and I don't mean Sky Sports or the Manchester Evening News. I mean even Mike himself. He not tweet out anything that's kind of.
Do you know? I'm not saying you're wrong, by the way, Paddy. But and again, I've made this known for a while. When you say 2 or 3 respectable in the know journalists and stuff like that, it's like you jump on bandwagon, so you'll get Journalist Day, perhaps making a story up like Fabrizio. I just think he's a whopper, you know, because everyone seems to think he gets everything right. But he's classed as a no. But what I'm saying is, mate, is he's classed as a respectable in the know. So you'll get him tweeting something out, and then you'll get somebody else jumping on the back of it who's half respected, and then somebody else, even if it's just a rumor. And then because you get 2 or 3 who are all so-called respectable journalists tweeting it out or whatever, people seem to think there's mileage in it. And I just think people jump on bandwagons, even journalists, not just fans.
Yeah. I'll tell you an interesting thing about that Fab fella. Was interviewed by Gary Lineker, right? And Gary Lineker said to him, like, no, how are you able to predict all these moves or whatever? And he says that players themselves are ringing them. They put out stories, or players' agents ring them. They put out stories. They kind of organize and move away, or let other teams know that their player is available. And he says to Gary Lineker, he says, off camera, he says, I'll show you the text messages I get from players' agents. So they must there must be a certain degree of truth in it. Like, we all know that's happened. It's happened up since old. So there must be some kind of legitimate basis in what he's saying in terms of players trying to engineer moves away from clubs, or agents trying to let other clubs know that my player's available, because you can't exactly take a front page spread out on a newspaper and say, "Oh, Kevin De Bruyne is available."
Okay, then let me put it another way. Then, right? I'm an agent, and I've got a player who wants more money at his current club. So all of a sudden, I phone that fab up and go, "Listen, can you put this out? Because I don't want the player to move. I just want him to get a new contract. However, if it shows there's a bit of interest from elsewhere, my player will get exactly what he wants at his current club." That goes on, make no mistake about it, Martin, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, your man Roy Keane, actually, in the last episode of that Overlap, I watched it. He was talking about your man, what do you call the defender? Leicester went back to United, to Johnny, what do we call him?
Johnny Evans.
Johnny
What do
Evans.
you call him? Him. Like, he went. He told a story about him, about he was on 10 grand wages, and Roy Keane wanted him at Sunderland, and he told, it was Niall Quinn was the man there, and he told Niall Quinn he wanted 20 grand a week, and Roy Keane says, "No, he's getting 20 grand a week." He says, "I'll ring him up and talk to him," and he did, and he says, "Well, what are you playing at 20 grand a week?" And he says, "Boy, I've read your book, and in your book you says to negotiate hard." So he says, "So here I am, I want 20 grand a week." And he got it. So, like, players talking telephone numbers now.
I know,
in terms of salary.
It has gone bonkers, Martin, and it's silly season. There's always stuff like this, either during an international break, as like page fillers and stuff like that, clicks and stuff like that, as well as a big game coming up, isn't there?
Yeah. I mean, of course there is. We've been linked with Sane since he's moved. Since he's left the door, we've been linked with him. The other news, I just don't know. I think, but I mean, I understand what Paddy's saying, because I'm one of them. If we've been linked with a player continuously for 6 months, I start thinking there's something in it. Because there's a difference between a rumour that comes in sort of during silly season, internationals, that sort of thing. But when you see the same player being linked continuously for 6, 7, 8 months,
Kimmich.
like Kimmich, all them, you start, well, clearly there's an interest. Because things do get out. Haaland got out last year. Everyone knew, 3 months beforehand, Haaland was coming in the door. So, and the problem is, it's because agents talk.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the players talk, it's the agents talking to each other. And that's part of the problem. And it's what? We're going into April. So this is generally, this is the thing people say to me, well, you can't sign a player till the window opens. No, you can't sign your contract, but it goes on.
Of course it does.
We're all sat here thinking, suddenly you just ring up the day before the window opens and then suddenly a player arrives on the door. No, they're all talking. But I'm one of them. Listen, you know me, Andy, on transfers.
In the know.
No, see, no, I'm not. I know you think I am.
I just had a bit of a cough then, mate.
I'm not. I know someone who gives me information and they've actually been right every single time. That's just so, there'll be a time when they get something wrong.
That's life.
But the thing is, I don't put it on Twitter. I don't publicize it because I'm not here for clicks and all that crap. I hear what they say. If it goes right, it goes right. It goes wrong, it goes wrong.
DC put there.
With Bellingham.
These hey, everybody was nailed on with that. For a small plastic club nobody cares about, we sure do seem to be linked with everyone and talked about constantly. Absolutely right, DC. And it's like, even with say Everton and Forest, with what's going on with point deductions, they don't even trend on Twitter or anything. It's City, and it just shows you the magnitude of the beast what we support. But Martin,
I'm very disappointed.
Say that again, mate.
I was going to say I'm very disappointed we haven't been linked with Isco
or Messi.
Or Messi, yeah.
Or Sanchez, or who else?
10 seasons worth of Isco.
It's right. So, who do we think out of all the players we're linked with is realistic and is goers in it? I still think Paqueta is, and this is just my opinion. I think Paqueta is basically a done deal because you can see when we play West Ham as well, the way Pep is with him and stuff like that. Now, there was one time, Anne-Marie, wasn't there, when we played West Ham, where at the end of the game, Pep and Paqueta were all over each other, love bites and everything.
Yeah, but I would say that the majority of our deals for the summer will be, if not done, as good as at this point. That's what I honestly believe. And I don't think there'll be any massive surprises as to who comes in. So I would say, because we have been linked so much with Paqueta and the fact that we didn't put the final bid in for him because we knew what was coming with the betting.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all gone away now, hasn't it? So I can see that we will probably get him. And I'm not sure who else, if I'm honest. I don't think Sane will be coming back.
I'd like Leroy back, but I do love Jack. It don't mean save Leroy did come back, he would be playing left wing, by the way.
No, but even so, where would you play him? Because we've got, if you think about it, in that position or across that front three, we've got plenty of players. There's no shortage of players we can play in that position.
But that is on the assumption that nobody's going to leave. Ultimately, players leave. We don't know who will leave, but there will be a refresh. During the summer, so we will lose. Crowd favourites. Unfortunately, that is just life. So, in preparation for that, there will be somebody coming in. But I know one who Martin really, really wants, and I can see him getting giddy, and it's Joshua Kimmich at Bayern Munich. I can't see that happening, Martin. Don't cry. Don't cry.
Not crying. No, look, my traction with Kimmich is quite simple. Versatile. He can play right back, can play 8, can play 6. If you look at what's going on at Bayern Munich right now, there seems to be a mass exodus going on at the place. I don't know what is going on at that place. I thought it was Tuchel, but you've already got what's he called? Who's the fullback? Left fullback. Canadian fella.
You tell us.
What's he called?
You're the guru.
No, I'm not a guru. Stop that. Name's gone right out of my head now. What's it called? Anyway, the Davies. Thank you.
Davies.
Davies is already on his way to Madrid. That's agreed and sealed. You've got Musiala rejecting contracts left, right, and centre. You've got Kimmich publicly, the club, people close to the club, supposedly coming out saying that he, for the right price he can go. Now you've got the signing situation. I think Bayern are going to start a whole new era, refresh, manager,
restructure, reset
the whole thing off. I think they're trying to just change it all.
That's going to start with the manager because, as we know, Gollum will be leaving there at the end of the season.
Well, apparently Alonso's going in, isn't he? Apparently he's turned down Liverpool and going into that place. So I suppose we'll see that one.
Everyone just take a moment to laugh at Harry Kane making that massive move scoring all those goals and still not winning a trophy at the end of the season.
I like Harry Kane. I think
Isn't it weird he's gone there, and then within a year everyone wants back out the door at the same time, and he starts bringing in like his mates with him and everything else. That's just weird.
I think Harry Kane will come back to the Premier League.
No. Who's going to buy him at 30, 31? Maybe Newcastle, if they're allowed to spend.
The Rex.
United will buy him.
And can we all just say a prayer that Waistcoat does take over as manager?
I've said before, if Southgate takes over at United, that'll be a bigger buzz for me than the Aguero goal against QPR. That would just I'd cry laughing.
So I can see, and go on, Paddy. So go on.
No, I was just going to say that if your man Paqueta does come in, I can see Silva going.
That's what I was about to say. I personally, I think Silva's
I hope we don't sell Silva for less than 100 million. Because that boy is.
Would you do the Benfica deal though, Paddy? Would you? You could get. Was he called Joao Neves?
It's okay saying that, Paddy. However, he's got a £50 million clause in his contract, I believe. So he's going to go for 50 million, unfortunately.
We are honestly, God, in terms of a selling club, I think, I don't know, are we fucking getting run by YTS scheme or what? We can't see.
That was the only way to sign his contract, Paddy. It's the only way to sign his new contract.
But out of us four here now, if we had a choice now between Silva and Paqueta,
I'd keep Silva every day of the week.
Out of curiosity, and this is just devil's advocate. I would, by the way, I'd keep Silva as well. But
I'm the opposite on that.
Out of curiosity, why Anne-Marie and Paddy? Go on, Anne-Marie, you go first on this.
Because he works so hard, regardless of who we play. He covers every blade of grass and he gives 110% when he plays. And I don't think you could ask any more of a player. And he's just been absolutely brilliant for us. That's my honest answer.
And you know, Andy, I think going from his social medias, no, he might be happy out. Like he comes across now very, very happy and very settled since the kids are coming along, whatever. But he might be happy in the knowledge knowing I'm getting out of fucking really Manchester at the end of the year. That's why maybe he's so happy. But as Anne-Marie said, he's like a Duracell bunny. Like the work he does in that pitch is so.
Glad you said a Duracell bunny, mate.
And plus, he has the skill to back it up as well as the work rate. Paqueta, he doesn't have the work rate. He's be slightly behind in terms of skill and ability, in my eyes as well, compared to Silva. But look, if we're signing creative midfielders, somebody has to go. It's as simple as that.
No, and that's what I said. That was my point a few minutes ago when I said, unfortunately, the football cycle goes where we will lose a crowd favourite. I'm with Martin. I think Silva will be gone at the end of the season because it almost seems like an agreement that Pep's, and I could be totally wrong. I'm not in the know, as you know. It's almost like Pep's come up with an agreement saying, "Listen, Bernardo, my little munchkin," shaking him on his head like that, going, "Go in," and going, "Listen, I need you to stay for another season because who I want," and that could be Paqueta, by the way, because at that moment in time, the Paqueta situation was still up in the air with all the gambling and stuff like that. So he's probably gone round to Bernardo and gone, "I need you to stay another year and to say thank you. You can sign a contract, your money will go up, but we'll put a £50 million clause in it. So for a thank you, because we know you're worth more than 50 million, we'll put a clause in your contract so then you can go and negotiate yourself wherever you want to go because we will be getting communicate said player what Pep wants. Good evening, Si. By the way, I loved your stuff on Martin's show yesterday, mate. First time I've ever seen you. Absolutely enjoyable, buddy. Thanks for joining us. Do you think something like on the lines like that, Martin? What I've just said?
Yeah, 100%. Now listen, I'm not saying I don't like Bernardo Silva. I think he's a great. I think he's a great player. I really do, but I'm going to put it this way: when's enough? How many more transfer windows are we going to go through where we have the same story with him?
Mm-hmm.
And he never denies it. He never comes out and goes, "No, I want to stay. It's all rubbish."
No, but he never comes out and says it's true either, Martin.
He does for Portugal. He did for Portugal. He just didn't with us. He went away on international duty and said he does want to move abroad.
I sort of get what Anne-Marie's saying there as well.
I think it's the media saying that he wants to go and that, you know, he's this, that, and the other, and yet we're not seeing anything remotely like that from him.
Why were they on bended knee begging him not to leave then? He was never thinking.
You know, that's true as well, because we had Jack Grealish singing "Please Don't Go" to him on the
stage. Diaz and Rodri all talked about it. Said we were because Rodri did it. Was it Diaz or Rodri did an interview about 3 months ago and said we all were expecting Bernardo to leave in the summer.
Yeah, that's true. So that, you know, even if it doesn't come out in public, I think it did speak volumes, especially when Jack Grealish was singing "Please Don't Go" on the stage. It must be no
drunk.
I'm not going to talk about being drunk and stuff like that.
He'd been on Anne-Marie's Tequila Rose a lot. His contract's only till 2026. That's the weird thing. He only signed a 1-year extension on his contract. That contract was to get the release clause and to get a bit of extra money, because who does a contract extension for 1 year and gets a release clause added in? That's my weird thing with it.
Does that make Anne-Marie? Does that sort of like make sense, really?
Well, I kind of get it, but then I think I do question a little bit some of our transfer dealings. So the likes of Aguero, David Silva, Gundogan, you know, we've paid good money for all of those players to bring them in, and then we've let them all go for nothing.
I get that, but also we bring them in for.
They go on about it being a business and how we have to make money, and they'll increase my season ticket, but we're letting three players there that are worth £50 million each, easy, and we've let all three of them walk away for nothing. Like my shopping bill, that Asda every week. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
50 million's a snip for Bernardo in actually today's market.
Of course it is, but if, like I said, it was sort of like an agreement, because it does, when you think about it, it does, like I just said, it was like a known thing within the squad that he wanted to go and he was on the verge of going. So to keep him for a season, that is sort of like his little golden handshake. I get we've bought players for excess money, Anne-Marie, but we've had very, very good value out of them. And they've done us all right, but how many players go on to do better things when they leave City anyway?
No, it's true, Andy. I get what you're saying. But it just seems bizarre that we're quite willing to let some of these players go for nothing when we could be making some kind of... Why are we letting them get to the last year of the contract without having something in place to...
But then look at it this way, right? Bernardo was, say, just for argument's sake, was in his last 2 years of his contract. Would you get 50 million for him?
You'd get more than 50 million for him.
Do you know? Because they start negotiating, don't they? So the longer his contract ran, so say for instance, Bernardo said, "I'm not signing it, that 1 year extension. I'm not signing it." We can't. we can't force him to sign it. So all of a sudden becomes 2 years left, a year, and he'd go for nothing anyway. So sometimes, and Pep doesn't keep unhappy players. I'm not saying Bernardo's unhappy, but it does seem that he just wants to negotiate a way out, whether it's Barcelona, Benfica, etc. Now, as a sort of like a sweetener, if you like, maybe we will go to Benfica and get one of their players, in part exchange or something like that. Or we're getting 50 million, which will go a long way to securing Paqueta as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I find that hard to believe, Andy. Like that say, oh, here's a new deal, here's a pay rise, stay for another year, and then you can go out the door for 50 million. And that just doesn't make business sense at any level. It just doesn't. They can try and say, look, we'll let go at the end of next season. You can name your club and we'll work with you, whatever, and to get the best price. But they say another 12 months, not even 12 months, whatever, 9 months of a season, we're going to give you a pay rise and you can go for half nothing. And we're going to sell a player in his prime, world class, for 50 million. Jesus, even taxes not that stupid, surely.
I think it's already predetermined what's going on. I am with Andy on that. I think it's a bit because, like what you're saying, Paddy, does sound absolutely such a poor business decision. But do you remember the Ronaldo deal when he was at United and Real Madrid wanted him and they wanted him and they wanted him, and Fergie said, "Stay one more year, we'll bump your contract, and we'll put was it 80 million, 85 million?" And they had that agreement, didn't they? You can go to Madrid the year after. Now, personally, I think the release clause is for Barcelona. I don't think Barcelona will get it, but he has publicly, and I know I read this the other day, he has said he wants to end his career at Benfica. The only way you get to Benfica is doing a player swap for this Joao Neves, who's got a £100 million release clause, and he would solve our issue. It means you won't get Kimmich, but he's 19, up-and-coming youngster in the world of football. All the top teams are after him. So if you can get Joao Neves for what, 40 million, and let Bernardo go the other way on top, you suppose you've got your player for the next 10 years, I suppose. I'm just thinking, are they sort of pre-planning ahead of, here we go, this is our midfield for the next 10 years of...
Hang on, we'll carry on. I have to read this super chat out, mate. Alan, thank you, mate. Nunes is crap. I've heard that Nunes is actually moving to Australia because he wants to be somebody's neighbour. Sorry, Martin, go on.
No, sorry, I just think the Bernardo one's a real weird one, but I mean, because didn't he double his wages? He went from 150 to 300 grand, didn't he?
Yeah.
And you're like, what, for a year? Wow, it just seems a bit of a sweetener. Stay a year. Here we go. And go, because he's 28, 29.
Yeah, he's no spring chicken.
You get a 19-year-old in.
And what I see that 19-year-old you're referring to, Martin, that Davis fella, what does he play? I don't know the first thing about him.
Oh, he's an up-and-coming player.
But where, midfielder or defender or what?
Yeah, he's a midfielder. He's a sort of player. He's I know Madrid, well, reportedly Madrid, they're all top teams that I'm going to look at him. He's got a £100 million release clause at 19. So I don't know. So, but saying that, Bruno Gimenez has got £100 million release clause. Do you want him at 28?
Yeah.
Not really. I don't want him either at 28 years old. Thanks very much.
Well, I think it's Sai said in the chat, if Davis does go there, Ramel a little bit will go to Bayern.
Sai wants everyone. Told me yesterday he wants like a Galactico squad coming in.
Martin, I know it's not your show, mate, but I'm gonna let you read this super chat out. Thank you, Alan.
I'm talking nonsense because Alan has a picture of Bernardo Silva on his wall.
Oh, mate. I love
Well,
Alan.
Alan will cry. Alan will cry when Bernardo leaves, I promise you.
He won't be on his own.
But like I said, it's life where we will lose a crowd favorite. Listen, I've only just stopped crying that when bloody
Colin Bell.
David Silva and Aguero went. It's players like that. I just honestly, I think that's probably a very handful of players since I've been supporting City where I was genuinely upset when they left.
I tell you what disappoints me, Andy, as well, is that obviously I know they both went during COVID, didn't they? And we've never had a chance
Say goodbye
in our ground to thank them. And that disappoints me.
Should we get a campaign going?
I
thought that was happening. I don't know what's actually happened to that. That was all planned and happening, and then it's just.
Should we see if we can get some momentum going on it?
Yes, I think we should, because we should have been able to say goodbye to Silva and Aguero. Aguero, for what he did for our club, deserves the recognition. And I know they did that at the end of the season when there was only, 1,000 or 2,000 in the ground.
Against Everton.
Yeah, but it wasn't enough.
Right, we're going to do it. We're going to get some momentum on that.
They're
doing a 12-hour stream for that.
It was unreal.
Do a 12-hour stream to campaign for 2 testimonials.
I was going to say 2 testicles then. I was going to say balls to that.
It's a great point. We've never done it. Testimonials seem to have become a thing for the past, haven't they? No one does them anymore.
It's not necessarily a testimonial yet. If we can raise some money for charity, brilliant.
I know. I'm showing my age saying testimonial there. I'm sorry, I'm old school.
It's just the fact that, like Anne-Marie said, we've never actually said goodbye properly.
10,000 did. 10,000 got to say goodbye to Aguero.
Yeah, and what about the other 40,000 that wanted to say goodbye to him, Martin?
I know. Hey, I wasn't there.
I wasn't either.
My missus and my kids were there, and they weren't season ticket holders. The season ticket holder didn't get in. I didn't get picked out the hat. I was fuming.
But that was before you was in the know, mate.
I used to stay the full game then as well.
Yeah. Any more transfer rumours? Yeah, there's a few knocking about. We've been linked today with Braithwaite, haven't we?
I'll check my phone.
Oh, hang on, we're going live direct to Martin Fabri.
No, I was joking with that.
Fabri, whatever it's called, Fabrizio. Yeah, so Braithwaite, 6, rumored to be 60 million quid. He's only played a handful of games for Everton, really, hasn't he?
I think he's pretty much played all this season. And he's looked decent, in fairness to him. Apart from when Haaland just went, see you later.
Yeah,
but that could happen to the most experienced defender, Andy.
Won't get past me.
Yeah, but that's because, well...
I know what you're going to say then.
It means you go around a roundabout.
Oh, man alive. I can't believe Anne-Marie was going to call me fat and slow and...
Those were not the words that were in my head, Andy.
And neither is intelligent and insightful when it comes to Andy either.
SOS says, good evening, pal. Tommy put a tweet out before about it. Tommy's put a few... Listen, Tommy is... I remember Tommy before Twitter and stuff like that from the Blue Moon, and it always got a hell of a lot spot on. So yeah, I've got nothing but respect with Tommy, to be fair. Normally when this something comes out, yeah, it's not always going to be right, but neither is everybody apart from Anne-Marie.
Does anyone know who he is?
I'm going to say no.
No, that wasn't a trick question, by the way. That wasn't me trying to dig on that. I was genuinely asking.
Sir Alan says, Bernardo is going nowhere, Martin, you absolute buffoon. Is that what he said, Anne-Marie?
Something similar, yeah.
Yeah.
He has done in the super chat later on down.
I know. No, but I think that I think we. What's your thoughts on that, Paddy? Do you think that he will negotiate that release clause?
I don't know. He's Pep's favourite. I know that. Like, have you ever listened to the players if they want an extra day off? It's Bernardo to send in. They ask for it.
Surprise!
They always
do we have tomorrow off?
Please, sir, can I have some more? But okay,
it's not
all joking
so
aside, right? And this is going to sound really big-headed. Bernardo Silva leaving Manchester City at the moment, wherever he goes, is a downward step. And I include
yeah.
So why does he? If it's based on purely on football reasons, why does he want to go? If he does.
No, I agree. But me, as a big City fan, always lived in Manchester. If somebody offered me a contract to go and live in the sun and play football, I'd be in the sun playing football, mate.
Would your wife be like Bernardo's wife, though?
I'm not saying
Are you
wife. Only joking if she's listening. Only joking.
No, for me, he's won everything here. He's won everything he can. We've had the best years out of him. If he wanted to go, I'm not gonna. I'll never have a go at him for it. I wish him all the best. Let him go and have a bit of sun. Keep his family happy. He's won he's not a cup he's not won. Not a trophy he's not won. He's wound the Liverpool fans up for a few years, which is just brilliant. So
that's why his release clause is so low, because of the piss he's filed with Liverpool fans.
That's my thing. I keep coming back to that release clause.
Mm-hmm. You can't ignore that release clause.
If he's being used as a make weight for the next up and coming superstar,
that's what I would do. I'd use him as that, because Barcelona can't afford him.
I have no problem with that. That makes sense. Because the age profile of that team is getting younger all the time, and I think
that's what we're best at. We are so good at
reducing the age
planning. We're so good at future planning. You look at Doku, 21, Gavardio, 21. They're 10-year players, or best part of it.
Considering that the old man we've got in the team called Phil Foden, who's 23, 24. Noel Baxter, good evening, Noel, says, is Savio not arriving in the summer? I think this Savio reminds me, not playing wise, but of the Peroni. Everyone was going like, oh, we need to get Peroni in, and where's Peroni now? What's he doing? It's not. I think we can put too much pressure on new signings, like we have done with Doku, etc. I think it's time for experience, because with Klopp going at the end of the season, we've got a great opportunity to win our fifth on the trot, because we're going to win it this season anyway. But do you think?
I think we're saying jinx it.
Has he said trouble again?
Yeah.
Always. Can you see Savio not coming or not in the summer, Martin?
I think he'll come. Whether he'll stay, I don't know. I think he'll go on international. He'll go to America.
Yeah.
The only thing is, then I look at what happened with Echeverri yesterday when, said he's off to Girona when he finishes. He's going to finish for River Plate and he's going to go straight to Girona for a year. So where would Savio go on loan? Because it won't be to Girona, because Echeverri is going to end up there.
Yeah.
So But then again, why are we being linked with every other winger if we're getting Savio? And this is what I mean. I don't know. It's like your Pedro Neto and everything else. And yeah.
And have we
Pardon?
There's some Argentinian young fella that we signed from, was it River Plate?
Yeah, the Claudio Echeverri.
Oh, that's who it is it?
Yeah,
he's going to Girona. He's going to Girona on loan when he comes in.
And Marie, would you like to read this super chat off Sir Alan? Alan, thank you.
According to Martin, and I'm going to add Andy into that as well.
Yeah.
Bernardo has been leaving.
Yes,
has been leaving for 6 years.
No.
And Andy has said the exact same for the last few seasons.
Right.
Even though I've backed Bernardo 100% of the way, and they're talking out of the backside. Alan.
That's not what Alan says in the super chat. Can you actually read the super chat out as it is?
That's a hell of a long super chat.
No, it isn't.
Where am I looking?
On the screen.
I am looking at the screen.
I think he means you've added about 3 lines in that word about Andy and Martin talking out the backside.
According to Martin, Bernardo has been leaving for 6 years.
Never said that. What I said was he wanted to leave. Never said he was.
You're editing.
Wanted to leave.
You have said it, Andy. Don't sit there laughing. You have said it.
Whoa!
And it's the same as the man who said last season he wanted Gareth Taylor going from the women's job.
Hang on. I took the wrong one out then. I took me out, didn't I?
Look at the job he's been doing. You know, so
admin privileges now. She's lied back in herself.
Don't be, you talk about everyone else talking out the backsides. Well, Andy, have a look in the mirror. I think we need to start. We need to start recording some of your little clips and just post it a whole. We could do a whole podcast on your.
What? Just clip? What? By just playing clips?
I got. Can I just back up?
Anne-Marie, I know you love me.
I love him. Absolutely love him.
I love you too.
Do you mean clips like that, Marie?
Hang on, Andy. No, can I just back Anne-Marie for 1 second?
Oh, God. Is it have a go at me now?
No, it's not. But can you name me these 2 players we signed in January? Because I'm still waiting for these names to be announced that were coming in the door.
We have Auntie Mary from River Plate.
Auntie Mary.
But unlike you, Martin, I only express my opinion.
I knew you'd come on that. You speak to the same person I do, so why are you giving me that? You speak to the same person.
Andy's the new Fab.
Yeah, was you upset when Riyadh left, Anne-Marie?
No, not in the least. I was absolutely delighted.
She drove him to the airport, Aguero, though. He was tied up in a basement and wasn't going nowhere.
Pretty much, yeah.
Alan and Anne-Marie are going on a crusade to keep Bernardo.
Time's pretty good too. I don't really know much about Craig Parktown. I think I just seen him on Martin's show yesterday. A couple of times. Was it yesterday, mate?
Yeah.
Manchester United.
Anne-Marie, stop.
I did that for Paddy.
God.
Take her a hand and put this away, would you?
By the way, I thought we were talking about Braithwaite. How we ended up back on Bernardo?
You know, I tell you what. One thing I do want to speak about, if we can get back to normality with Anne-Marie going off on that, is Cancelo. Now, Cancelo come out and had a pop in the press. You know, so whether it's true or not, this is just speculation regarding calling Pep a liar. Now, Cancelo in his little rant says Cancelo himself says he never speaks out. He's always transparent. He won't call people, but yet he goes on a big rant about slagging Pep off. His ship was already sailed before that, Anne-Marie, wasn't it? But
of course it was. There's no way he can come back anywhere near our club. Not at all. Out the door. Let him go. I'd give him away. You can't. He thought he was better than he was. And as we've seen, anywhere he's been since, he's not exactly set the world on fire, has he?
no.
No, so just do one.
I think the key bit in that. I think the key bit in that, Paddy, is even though he's only young, Cancelo, he's had a lot of clubs, hasn't he? So there must be something within him.
He doesn't. He can't seem to be settled down some one club in the end of time. But he did something at Bayern Munich, didn't he? When we played in the Champions League, did we miss or something? And he celebrated.
Sorry, I'm just reading some of them. Would you go along with that, Mike? Would you just get rid of him rather just? I know it's a lot of money and it's a business and stuff like that, but if we're paying for his wages anyway, isn't it easy and we know we're not going to be able to sell him on, and it just best just to go. Just get rid. Let somebody else.
He can't. He's got a 3-year deal still.
I know that's what I'm saying. If we're paying his wages for 3 more years, yeah, we're gonna. Just cut the losses now. Give him you're a free agent. Go negotiate yourself. Just get gone.
I don't think they probably should, but I don't think they will. Because I mean, you remember that he signed the contract extension, signed a brand new 5-year deal. His wages went up to over 200 grand a week. So you work that 200 grand a week over 3 years. That's got to go down in FFP. I'm not sure the club will cut the losses like that. I think they will.
But we're still paying it, aren't we? We're still paying it. So
yeah, but you can get away with that if you cancel his contract. That's 3 years all in 1 year on FFP. So they'll just put the whole lump sum onto that 1 year. So whatever that would be. The Cancelo is a weird one.
Cancelo is a player who can't take criticism.
Yeah, to me, I think he needs a little bit of
a slap. I mean,
no, I'll be honest with you. I think I look at him and I look at his history and I think you're someone who needs to sit down with someone and forget about football and go and have a chat with someone for a few weeks, because the guy loses it over. There was an incident, if anyone remembers, last week at Barcelona when the Barcelona players it came out he was injured. Then the Barcelona players went, he's not injured. There was a personal issue going on, and that the win was in honor of Joao Cancelo to support their fellow player.
Yeah.
Well, that's the 4th club now. That is it. Sorry, 5th club. Valencia, Juventus, Bayern, and now Barcelona. Enough's enough that someone needs to pull him and say, you need some help. He's never going to come back to Manchester City, ever. He may go on pre-season, but I don't think he'll ever play in a competitive role, because I think Calvin Phillips will go on pre-season. Don't think he'll play ever competitively again. I think they'll just go on because remember, was it in Japan or South Korea? He put a belting ball in with the outside of his foot for one of the goals. Still went out on loan to Barcelona. I think he's just done.
And quite rightly, what Alex said there, mate. Cancelo celebrating against us was the last straw.
I don't know why he was
still paying his wages.
FIFA says bring him back easy. Listen,
not for Pep.
I don't think anyone. I think the ship has sailed on there. DC says, Martin, yes, that's what I said. Cancelo needs some counselling. You know something? I've not looked at it that way before. That's. Is he too arrogant to think he is the problem? Don't know. I think only he knows that, really. Pardo Oak says, any views on the Etihad Airways big announcement today? severe implications for our 115 charges. I've not, to be honest, I've been
no clue about it.
I've been hungover massively today.
I'm the opposite on that.
What? You've not been hungover today?
No, I don't think there's any severiness having it helps us.
What's happened, mate? Because this is just like fresh for me.
Basically, they're going to do some deal, and basically their books are going to be open to everyone. If there was something to hide, you wouldn't do that deal.
No, you wouldn't.
If you wanted to hide things, you wouldn't do something that would make your books public. So to me, it's just another thing of we'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah, but again, Martin, we're playing Arsenal on Sunday, so it's just another stupid story released.
Yeah, it's come out from Etihad. Yeah, it's come out. It's Etihad who announced it.
I agree. That's the first time I've heard. Pretty much, you say you're the same, Anne-Marie, and I agree with Martin. What if you was trying to hide something? Why would you say
you wouldn't go public?
No, exactly, because it'd leave us wide open.
Exactly.
That's actually good. That,
but you can't actually even if they do go whatever deal they're going to do, there's still an NDA with Man City. Like, there's still confidentiality. You just can't ground broadcasting whatever deals they have and make them public. It doesn't happen.
No, they'd have to subpoena Etihad, but I think, Paddy, that'll be the next. If City get found guilty by it, and I'm only guessing now, looking into it with a little knowledge of law that I have, the Premier League would have to find City guilty, and then they can start subpoenaing people like Etihad and all that, and then it becomes a criminal situation.
Yeah, as your man, the former advisor to Man City, the fellow took on Simon Jordan on Talk Shite.
Oh, Stefan, yeah.
If he turned around and said, he made a very valid point. If that King's senior counsel effectively find Man City guilty of them 115 charges, he's accusing Etihad, he's accusing the seat insurer, he's accusing all these different companies of collective fraud, and he says there's no King's counsel going to stand up on his own 2 feet and accuse all them different countries or companies of being collectively corrupt. He says there's nobody's going to do that. Nobody.
No. The basically got, like I said, people. I was watching a show today, and it was all plastic 115, and none of them actually understand what this 115 is.
And you're right there, mate.
They don't get it because, and I don't even blame them because I get the saltiness from rivals. It's not been explained by the media in the correct way.
Well, no, even as a City fan, I don't really understand what the 115 charges are, but I don't honestly believe we've got anything to worry about, because I think the Premier League are going to be I think they were panicking anyway. I think they're going to be more in a panic now because the government are insisting on bringing in the independent regulator. So I don't think we've got anything at all to worry about.
But you see, my understanding of it is, right, like, UEFA found us guilty, and then we went to CAS, and then CAS then on further investigations has found all of the charges unproven except for lack of coordination. So unless the Premier League have brand new charges or invented these new charges, what are they going to we're going to be retrying?
No, but that's the thing, Paddy. The UEFA charges were only over a certain period of time. The FA charges go back to pretty much 2008, don't they?
Yeah, but financial fair play didn't come into 2011, I don't think.
2013.
12, 13, it came.
Yeah.
Well, 13. So, I think
the thing with CAS, because I read the full night. See, this thing. No, I speaking to an Arsenal fan when he went, "Oh, this time they went, have you read the CAS case?" He went, "I read the first page."
Yeah.
Well, what's that? There's 98 pages. What are you reading just page one for? Page 78 of CAS says Etihad and ADUG were of fair market value all found by the majority of the cast board, and there was no, and they talked about the leaked emails, and they said they cannot use the emails because there's no continuity behind them, basically.
And it's a criminal activity.
Yeah.
How they've been.
It's a very, and there was, and I'm trying to look for it. I keep trying to look for it. It's very hard to find the line. I just came across it. There was a wording of from kisses from Cass to UEFA that there was a little bit of what's the word? Can't remember the word they used, but basically there was other motives behind this from UEFA. There was a little bit you're picking on him here. What you're doing, you're trying to look for something.
Yeah, I remember reading bits of that myself.
And it's only it's literally one line, so small.
It was something on the line. It was something on the line of collusion, wasn't it? You know,
there was something in there.
People colluding again.
Line. Yeah. And that's why I can't find it, because in 98 pages, just trying to find that one literal sentence.
But I think even with the charges we're facing now, I think it will, unfortunately, there's going to be the tagline of racism added to it because that's all it is. Because it's still, I wish somebody could really explain it to me, how we can have 115 charges, be completely debt-free, and have our own money to go out and spend. And yet you've got United.
That's why.
You've got United with the massive debt they've got. And they're going out and spending a lot more money than we are. And nobody's investigating it whatsoever.
No, absolutely agree with you. Just read this out. Read a couple of the comments out here. Breeze put, and this is regarding Cancelo. He's very unlikely to have any book value. If Barcelona gave us €1 and took over his contract, it'd have no FFP implication. Feel the club wants loan fees, however. Yeah,
it would, but we're still paying towards Cancelo's wages, apparently.
Yeah, Noel's put, there's nearly 400k a week on wages for Cancelo and Phillips. We need them off the wage bill. I agree. I agree there. Simon's put, yes, Martin, this is good news for City. I agree, because that was the first time I'd heard of it, like Anne-Marie today, because I've not really been fit to lift my eyes off.
That's not been my excuse. I've just not been following any news.
You was out with me last night.
No, I wasn't.
But Etihad to say, there's my books, have a look. And let's not forget, because when this starts to be opened up and starts to gather momentum, the powers that be, the Premier League, are basically calling all these companies, all our sponsors, liars. You're all liars. So straight away, you're going to have things like defamation of character, and that is a big hornet's nest.
It's not just that, Andy. They're saying KPMG, the world's biggest orders, Deloitte, have all been part of this little collusion and conspiracy that we've all sat there. And now the thing is, Deloitte and KPMG have their own people that look through things. They're not going to sit there and allow City just to pull wool over their eyes for 10 years. The reason people don't have, they're playing to so many rivals and they never get it. They go, it's 115. I said, yeah, but it's backdated, because the way you do your books, and I was in the chat on all this, you preempt the year coming up. So you go, right, I've had a really good year this year. This is what my thing will be next year based on your
projection for the year ahead. Yeah.
So what they're saying is, well, you got that year wrong, so you must have had the last 10 years wrong. So let's go all the way back and do it for every single one of them then.
And also,
that's where the 115 props up from. And the rivals don't want to listen to that.
Also, let's not forget, there was rule changes within the Premier League where they've got a little bit muddled up. They're charging us for certain seasons for certain things, and someone's going, hang on, this rule was for, say, 2015-16, not what you've charged them for say 17, 18. So they've got a little bit muddled up. But I think it was Pardo Oaks who put it above, and I absolutely agree with him, where he said, let me see it. This, I think, will be actually factual. Premier League charges will suddenly be dropped. I agree with that because we're starting to see more fans now. I'm not seeing 115 thrown against us as much as it was. I think suddenly fans are thinking, do you know something? They've gone, especially Evertonians, you know something, they've gone after us. So maybe there's something in that. Forest fans are going, you know something, they've gone after us. Maybe there's something in it. Leicester City fans, they're going through it at the moment. So I think slowly but surely, people are actually coming round to the way of thinking and thinking, you know something, the Premier League are corrupt bastards.
But Leicester are actually suing the Premier League. They've issued legal proceedings against the Premier League.
Yeah, but they're also suing the EFL, Padder.
Yeah.
They're trying to be clever and get out of it both ways.
You're leaving out Chelsea as well. Chelsea self-reported. And they thought they were going to be goody good boys reporting themselves. They're up to into their neck and the brown stuff.
Yeah, you know why though, Padder? Because at that time, it was only a fine for your punishments.
Yeah.
So all these clubs were trying to get ahead of the wave and going, we will take the fine. And then the new rules came in and went, no, you're going to get points deduction.
Because
Chelsea went, whoa, hang on a minute. Right, we've got to start reversing here.
Chelsea had a transfer embargo, which was all right because before that, they stockpiled players. But like Chelsea's facing at the moment, I think I listened to that Stefan and I'm sure he said something like Chelsea have got to sell something like £200 million worth of players before the end of June.
Yeah.
And the window doesn't open till the 1st of July. So good luck around that. Good luck around that one.
And that's the point. That's the point he was making for the books to be right. They've got to offload 200 million. Well,
because they were trying to be clever with the Mount deal, and if you look, they put the Mason Mount deal on last year's books.
Yeah.
But everyone thought it was going to be on this year's books because United announced it in July. But the deal had already been signed off in June. So Chelsea put it onto last year's books, but they had the protection of the Champions League money still.
Mm-hmm.
This season, they've got no European money coming in. So that's where Chelsea have now got the major issue that they've got to be hit with. But look at what did Caldoon say? Go back a year. 1 year and 1 month.
Caldoon he's desperate because he'll when this is all done, he'll come out and tell the truth. He'll name names and everything.
But what did
Caldoon say?
For that day. He said, because someone said to him, they did the interview and they said to him, what'd you do? He went, no, we're going to prove our innocence. We're going to fight this to the death. And he went, all I'll say is people in glass houses should not throw stones. It will all come out. 13 months later, what's suddenly happening all of a sudden?
Everyone's
failing FFP all over the shop now.
I'm with Anne-Marie.
Caldoon knew where this was coming.
It's like Caldoon's going, please hurry up. Please, Premier League, please hurry up and get this going because we will destroy you.
Yeah.
We will destroy you. When it comes down to it, we will destroy you. I'm with you, Martin, when it's like 13 months down the line and all of a sudden the deck of cards now, it's like, well, it's a bit like Jenga, isn't it? You know,
exactly what Caldoon predicted would happen.
Jenga, there's Forest. Ooh, that's wobbling a bit. There's Everton. There's Leicester. A few more, and it's all going to come tumbling down.
And there's Leeds and Villa are on the. I read somewhere Arsenal are even potentially on the chopping block.
Where did United's disappear to? Because they got charged. Where's that?
European. Theirs was UEFA, not Premier League. Because to answer Henry's question, they don't include debt. And that's how the Big Five got out of it, because they didn't include debt in the new FFP rule. They were clever with that one, because that's how Tottenham got away with it. Tottenham are in a mountain of debt because of their new stadium, but Daniel Levy didn't want to put debt into it. They were very, very clever not to put debt in.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Andy, I just sent you to see the cast judgment there, and I had a screenshot with highlighted and stuff like that. Out of all the say from Article 224 to Article 260, all about what the panel found against us, that there was no collusion between any of the companies, no evidence found.
Yeah.
Clearly no evidence found. This is the view of the majority of the panel. However, no evidence to support the conclusion the payment of 59 million was funded or proceeded to be funded by HSSM and or ADUG, whoever who they are, as alleged by UEFA. Like it's all like you probably can't see it in my phone there, but it's all there on the.
Yeah, that's what I read, Paddy. And
yeah, that's what. It's. I'm with DC as well. Khaldoon and Pep's confidence lead me to think, you know, the league have nothing on us. I absolutely agree, DC. And that, you know something, I don't know about you, but since we was hit with the charges, I've not lost any sleep over it because I've got. Especially with Khaldoon's statement, Anne-Marie, I just was like, I trust that man. You know, whether that's blindly trusting him, but I trust him because of the way he went about it, not just in that interview, but with previous interviews and stuff, like the way he comes across. And we won't carry on spending money if we know we're going to be charged. We won't be buying Haaland knowing that he's going to go to the Championship. We won't be buying the Dokus and the Gavardiols and stuff like that if we think we're taking them to the Championship. So, listen, I'm totally real.
And even Andy, the last piece in that thing I sent you, the Article 290, the conclusion about the leaked emails with the collaboration between Etihad and all these different groups, absolutely no evidence on them emails whatsoever.
There was no consistency behind them.
The panel found there's no evidence on file establishing that he actually went ahead or succeeded in such an attempt.
You're right there, Greg. It's more like kaplunkers. That's what they are, mate. Not kaplunkers.
But do you know what they started? They started the game of dominoes because they started with us because that white paper was coming in because of this independent regulator, which Man City was the only team wanted it anyway. Mm-hmm. And now they're gone after Everton twice. They've hit Forest, they've hit Leicester, Chelsea they come, and then us. But we're a different kettle of fish in that regard. But I'm telling you, going back to what Martin says, that Khaldoon interview when he was interviewed last season, he says, "I'll come back." He says, "when these charges will be dealt with, and I'll give you a very blunt interview," is what he said.
Yeah.
A very blunt interview.
I can't
wait.
We'll probably sell it to Netflix.
I was just about to say that, mate.
You're not getting on City Plus.
Yeah,
it's going to Amazon Prime for $500,000.
You know, let's
looking forward to the 2nd of April and me Netflix.
Yeah.
Is that for the documentary?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing. I don't know why they've put it on Netflix, but that's neither there, is it?
But that'll create more money for them than the $4.99 or whatever it is you pay to get on City Plus.
Not for me.
I read somewhere it's now gone up to about 10 million quid they're getting for that now.
What, on Netflix? I'm not
paying
that.
Not for you to pay that. No, but City really
well,
got
they
up
will
now.
do because Netflix is no different to the all or nothing thing they did on Prime.
Yeah.
It's easy money for them.
The thing is, though, things like that income all goes towards the club, and it's little things like that. That's just being the club's switched on really by getting that amount of money to show a documentary series. It all goes to our coffers.
And it's a documentary made by us.
Mm-hmm.
It's made by City TV, and they've sold it to Netflix for the rights. And you can be guaranteed, we're a small little club in Manchester, as some of them will have you believe. But believe it or not, we're kind of worldwide now. I'm the current world club champions. So stick that in your pipe and smoke it.
And it's almost as if, listen, we won't put it on City Plus because that's just going to be shown to City fans let's gloat on a worldwide basis. Let's put it on Netflix and have a bit of that.
And you can be guaranteed that the cartel club's fans will watch it. They pick holes in it.
Of course they will. Right, I'm going to skedaddle. Anything from anyone before I go and disappear? I'm going to try some food for the first time today, apart from chocolate biscuits. I think I'm ready for some food.
Very healthy.
I've not been in a steak, mate, today. Anybody else got anything?
I might not be able to join you next week, Andy, after the Arsenal game. I'm sorry, but it's a bank holiday weekend, so I might go make the most.
You're just going to drop that bombshell now.
So she's going on the tequila rose.
Hang on a minute. I don't remember signing that holiday form.
No.
No, we never signed yours either.
Hang on, do you have holiday
Anyway,
form?
enjoy yourself, Anne-Marie.
Oh, I need to make notes there.
You never know. There might be a bit of a live edition from Mary D's after the game.
Yeah.
That'd be crackers.
Just make sure you don't develop a lisp like I did when I was in Benidorm.
Yeah.
No, it's not likely.
I might actually come and have a drink with you in Mary D's.
Well, that's where I'll be after the game, Andy.
You going to the game?
Yeah, I'll be there for 90 plus minutes, mate.
I'm surprised you go in.
Yeah.
You don't normally come anymore.
Oh, he only goes to top 6 games now, Martin.
He doesn't do FA Cup. He doesn't do Champions League.
Yeah.
I've got my train booked for the FA Cup.
I don't know. All having a go at me. So DC says, enjoy, Anne-Marie. Say hi to Ruben.
I will do, DC, but don't forget, you're still on the list, darling.
How many do you want?
Say hi to Pat DC.
You've Michael Feedy, you've DC, you've Diaz. Jesus Christ, I mean, there's only 7 days.
Look, DC's always lovely with me. Pardo Oaks, always very lovely with me. Blue Heart, always lovely with me. Alec needs a bit of work, but he's always quite nice. So I'm just, if he insists on calling me
What about Alan?
Mrs. Mares, Alan, I've got great time for Alan as well, because we're on the same wavelength with regards to
Someone's
Bernardo.
got to have time for Alan because no one else does.
Well, you know,
I tell you what, next week I'm going to make sure that we all wear, cheerleader stuff and pom-poms. We love Anne-Marie, we love Anne-Marie.
You're only jealous, boys. That's all it is.
I'm not jealous.
And by the way, you can catch Anne-Marie's. She's going to be on First Dates MCFC 93 PUBcast edition soon. But I think we're going to sell that to Netflix. So anyway,
Hi, all.
I'm being absolutely cooked here off you tonight. I said cooked. I don't know. Thank you, everybody in the chat for joining us. See, I've got my fan club as well. Look,
so I was the GOAT.
You are, but that's it's for something else.
FIFA says that to me as well. Some them there.
Oh, look at that, Anne-Marie. I wondered how that comment come on. I forgot Anne-Marie's got control of this channel as well. So yeah, listen, seriously, thanks for joining us, Martin. What a great effort yesterday, mate. Once again,
yeah,
mate.
so well done, Martin.
No, thank you for coming on and supporting.
No,
really appreciate you
It
giving
was
up
a pleasure.
Our pleasure, mate. Paddy, thank you as always.
Welcome.
Anne-Marie, piss off, and everybody in the chat. Thank you very much for joining us, and we will do it again next week when Anne-Marie will be pissed, and hopefully City will have 3 points in the bag against the Bottlers. Have a great week, all.